What is going on, everybody? Kyle Murray from FTN Daily back again with the PrizePicks Prop Show, and it's Wednesday, so you know that means we have some PGA picks here for you guys today. The American Express is teeing off on Thursday, so like I said, got some picks here. We're going to be in the birdie or better matchup market, so we pick a player to go against another player, and we're going to take that person to make more birdies or better than the opposing player listed. So we're going to have 3 picks for that in that market for you guys here. But before we get into the picks, if you are new to PrizePicks, head over there, use code FTN, get yourself a 100% match up to $100. Great way to get that bankroll started. Hopefully you guys had a little bit more success yesterday tailing the NBA picks than I did. I went 2 out of 3 in the picks in the video, and then I absolutely got a little bit of a tease there from Yusuf Nurkic. So if you guys were following along on the PrizePicks Discord that we have over at FTN Daily, I posted 3 6-leg flex plays due to the Taco Tuesdays coming out. They had 3 different ones yesterday, so posted one for each of those corresponding tacos. Had 2 of them go 5 for 6, with the only leg missing being Yusuf Nurkic. So hopefully you guys were able to get a 6 for 6, but if not, you have the PGA picks here, and then obviously we're going to have some NBA, NHL, and then some NFL playoff picks. We're going to have this PrizePicks show rolling all week, and we're going to have picks flowing in the Discord and in the pick tracker, which is free. But both are free. You can get in the PrizePicks channel for free, but if you are looking to get into the premium channels as well, you can use code KMUR to get a 20% discount at FTN Daily as well. Now, let's get into my picks here. I got 3 of them, like I mentioned here. Let me know if you have some favorites for this week's PGA event, the American Express. We're in SoCal here for this one, and we're going to be looking at a previous winner here at the American Express 2 years ago when Siwoo Kim won. I believe it was in a playoff, but he also won last week. So he's coming off of a strong performance last week. So we know he's playing some good golf, obviously, coming off the victory. We know that he's played some good golf here. He has back-to-back finishes inside the top 11 at this event. And in terms of his recent form, he has 2 top 10s in his last 5, as well as 3 top 35 finishes in his last 5 events. Now, the reason why I like Siwoo Kim here is basically just due to the opposing player that he's facing here. He gets to see Justin Rose in this birdie or better matchup pick here. So like we mentioned, all the good stuff about Mr. Siwoo Kim there, all the good form that he's sort of seeing currently. But for Justin Rose, not as good. When you look at his last 5 events, he's missed the cut in 2 of them, and he withdrew in another. So he hasn't really played as recently as Siwoo Kim has. He's obviously played overseas a couple of times, but in terms of what we're getting out of Justin Rose, it's just not really been as consistent as Siwoo Kim has been. When you look at his last 6-month strokes gained profile, it is absolutely brutal. He only has 1 stat inside the top 20, and that's putting, which according to the course fit model that Alex Blickel does at FTN Daily, that's not the most important stat here this week. And when you look at a lot of the important stats, like off the tee and ball striking and strokes gained approach, he's actually outside the top 90 in those stats. So really just banking on some poor Justin Rose performances here. And when you're looking at Siwoo Kim, he's a fairly volatile player here, but in terms of this sort of market, that's kind of what you want, right? So I think it's totally fine to kind of bank on a player like that, where sure, he might have some bad holes, but if he's going to bounce back and have some birdies, obviously it's a good market for that. So Siwoo Kim over Justin Rose is the first pick of the video. Pick number 2, we're going to a guy that you might think of when you think of Justin Rose in the same sort of breath. It's a former player that used to be one of the top performers in pretty much the whole world, and he's kind of fallen off as he's gone, gotten older and dealt with some injuries and stuff. But it's Jason Day here. But my model loves Jason Day this week. Grades him out as the 11th best golfer in the field for this particular course in this event. He has the 22nd best Vegas odds, but Jason Day really grades out well here. When you look at what he's been doing the last 5, he did miss a cut in his last event, but prior to that, 4 straight top 21s, including a top 8 or a T8 back 5 events ago. Played this event last year, finished 49th in it. He's been fine in terms of making birdies, 21st in this field, so that's a number that I'm totally fine with. But the 6-month strokes gained profile looks fantastic for Jason Day. He's 6th in approach in this field. He's 14th in tee to green. He's 46th in off the tee, and he's 14th in ball striking. So a lot of the numbers look really solid here for Jason Day. And when you really look at his 2-year profile as well, it's really not that bad. And that's kind of been the frame that we've all kind of considered as him really sort of tapering off. But that 6-month profile of when we've seen him, performing here, the approach game is really, really strong, and that tee to green game has been really strong. So obviously you're going to need a hot putter from Jason Day, which he's not really been too keen to find a whole lot. But we're taking Jason Day over Mark Hubbard here. And again, this is just a spot where I'm more comfortable in one player, much more comfortable in one player than the other. Mark Hubbard has missed the cut or been disqualified in his last 4 events. Really hasn't performed all that well. He saw this course, or I guess we're seeing a 3-course rotation, but he saw this event back in 2021 when he missed the cut there. His birdie or better numbers have been fine, 34th in the field, but in terms of his 6-month strokes gained profile, really, not as bad as Justin Rose, but nothing really all that exciting. His best, I guess his strong suit is the approach game, which is good for this course, but it ranks 32nd. That's kind of what he's been sort of relying on over the last 6 months, and that kind of leads to a lot of poor performances here for Mark Hubbard. So Jason Day over Mark Hubbard for the second leg there. And we're going to go to one of my other favorite golfers that if you guys have been following me and my golf content over the years, you know that I have put a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of tears into backing Emiliano Grillo here, and we're going to do it once again. Last year at the end of the year, if you guys were following me at FTN Daily, you know that I was kind of really banking on a breakout here for Emiliano Grillo, and we didn't really see it. We saw some really strong performances, but nothing really as really elite, and elite's a very strong word to use, but that is the feeling that I get for Emiliano Grillo. I think that we could potentially have that sort of feeling here. And I think this is very important because, you look at this course, around the green shouldn't be too much of an important statistic here at this event, and that's his weak spot. In terms of his strokes gained profile, he ranks inside the top 40 in every important strokes gained category other than around the green. And he's top 30 in approach, tee to green, and ball striking, as well as total strokes gained in his last 6 months. So he's just been playing some really solid overall golf, and the biggest thing for Grillo, which you guys are going to really be stunned by, is his putting. For years, this guy was being laughed off of the course or laughed out of DFS lineups because of his putter. 88th in strokes gained putting over his last 2 years, 37th in strokes gained putting over his last 6 months. So that's a massive improvement. And when you're talking about these different time frames that I like to mention, I usually look at last 6 months, last 2 years, and then some sort of recent form, whether it's 20 or 30 rounds, whatever it is. But those things will kind of point you in the direction of showing where a guy's improving, where he's struggling, especially over certain time frames. And that's a big level of improvement there for a guy who really at times we were like, he's just a putter away from being a really, really good player. So we're taking Emiliano Grillo here over Nate Lashley. Now, Lashley's also been pretty solid. Grillo ranks 14th in birdie or better so far this season, but one thing that I really like in terms of advantage-wise is just his ball striking over Nate Lashley. So like I mentioned, Grillo is 14th in birdie or better over the last year. So far, Nate Lashley is actually ranking 16th in this field in birdie or better, but the really big separator here is the ball striking. He just doesn't have the approach game that Emiliano Grillo has. He also doesn't have the distance off the tee that Emiliano Grillo has. So in terms of just overall ball striking, Lashley is really far behind in terms of just overall, I guess, stature that he brings to the course fit and all that good stuff. So another spot, really, when you look at the last 6 months, which I never thought I'd be saying about this, but Nate Lashley also doesn't really compete with Grillo on the greens as well. Over the last 6 months, like I mentioned, top 40 there for Grillo in strokes gained putting. Over the last 6 months for Lashley, 84th in strokes gained putting. And again, he ranks inside the top 60 in strokes gained putting in this field in just one format, or I guess in one category, and it's the least important in my opinion this week, and that's around the green. Outside of that, he's bottom 80, or outside the top 80, I should say, in all of the other strokes gained categories. So not really liking the fit here for Lashley, also not liking his course fit as well as his recent form, and then also just comparing him to Grillo. I think Grillo's the much better player in all facets, and I just think he's overall got the edge there. So those are the 3 picks, all birdie or better matchups. Jason Day over Mark Hubbard, Siwoo Kim over Justin Rose, and finally Emiliano Grillo over Nate Lashley. So those are my 3 round 1 picks. I would highly recommend you guys getting in the Discord for the PrizePicks Discord over at FTN Daily, because I've been pumping out tons of 6-pick or whatever amount of leg parlays for rounds 2 through 4, and obviously I don't do the video for those ones, but I've been having a lot of success with, well, I guess I should say a lot of 5 out of 6s. I think I've had 5 straight 5 out of 6s over the last 2 rounds. So just missing. I'm feeling like this week we're going to have a 6 out of 6 or a big 25x hit there over in the Golf Street. So highly recommend getting in over there in the PrizePicks Discord. And obviously we have the pick tracker, which is free at your disposal there for not only PGA but every sport that we have picks for. So highly recommend getting in there as well. And again, you can use code FTN at PrizePicks if you are making your first deposit, and you'll get yourself a 100% match up to $100. But that's going to do it for me. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can support us and also stay up to date on the next up and coming PrizePicks and other content video as well. So again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate the support. We'll see you guys next time. And as always, good luck, everybody.